Ladies, say you're a guy, or at least in the guy role. You're paying for all the dates when you're out with a guy. You're paying for all his bills. You're opening doors for him. Doing everything you expect a man would do for you. Would you want something back in return? If so, what specifically? And if not, would you be content with him saying, listen, my presence alone is worth you doing these things for me, and I don't have to do anything for you because I'm a man? What do you guys think?
I posted a video asking guys how women should approach men.
Yeah.
I just want to read some of the comments. This guy says, there's a really creative one that works. Hi, how are you? And, you know,
thank you. Thank you.
Obviously,
It's not tricky, is it?
It's weird that can be so intimidating, right? Like,
Yeah, and look,
it's scary.
yeah.
Women obviously, just as much as men don't want to get rejected, women don't want to get rejected, and we think that we are still going to get rejected.
So I'm fully convinced that chivalry is in fact, you can't convince me otherwise. Where are the guys that are opening up your doors? Where are the guys texting you first? Where are the guys putting in the effort? Where are the guys that are asking you out on dates before they're asking to come over and hang out? Where's the effort? Honestly, what happened to dating? Like, I don't get it.
Nah, she's right. And here's what's happening. A lot of guys just got tired of doing all the work while getting nothing back. They text first, plan dates, put in effort, and still get hit with mixed signals or told they're not enough. So they stopped. Now they're just existing, waiting to see what a woman actually wants instead of guessing. That's the shift. Effort without reciprocity kills the whole thing.
I'm a 3-time divorcee and I'm getting married for the 4th time in June. Now, many of you might be asking, why get married again?
Actually, I think most of us are just wondering if you were sick from school on the days that they taught us about common denominators, because there is a clear one here.
Look, that's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. 3 divorces isn't bad luck. It's a pattern. And the pattern is usually the same person making the same choices over and over, expecting a different result. That's not marriage material. That's someone who hasn't looked in the mirror yet. You can't fix that by getting married again.
Most men that I've dated are intimidated by my strong will. I don't feel that way. It's been known. Clearly, I'm not with them, but I'm happier by myself.
We had a lot of women on this couch.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of conversations with women.
Yeah.
And the women that keep trying to convince the world that they're strong and a man can't handle them, you're just unpleasant. You're not good to be around. You don't make for a good partner. And you're trying to disguise it behind, I'm just a strong woman. That's why he can know. You're just unpleasant and nobody wants to be in a relationship. You don't know how to make a successful relationship last. You think the relationship is all about you. You're self-centered.
You know what they call that?
I agree that dating in Australia is just not it. Why are you guys all so shy? I didn't realise coming from the UK just how confident the men there are. And in comparison, there is no urgency with the men here whatsoever. I feel like guys just don't make the first move here, which is a little bit disappointing when you are very single. I feel like in general Australians are just a lot more laid back. But if you guys could be a little less laid back when it comes to dating, that would be great. Has anyone else experienced this or...
Emotional! Here we go, comparing Australian guys to English guys once again. Just because you come to a new country doesn't mean all the guys have to like you. I don't understand why this is rocket science. How come you can't self-assess? He doesn't find you that attractive. And I know it's a shock to hear that. The Australian guys are humbling you so you can reassess and focus on reality. You need to make a move. Yeah, I know you're used to in the UK, guys always doing it your way, but send them a text, go over, or maybe grinding them in the club. You need to do something. If the UK guys better in their urgency, why don't you just go back there then? Go back to England and get yourself a jolly old chap. But instead, you don't want to do that. You want to complain about Aussie guys. Yeah, good luck.
Hot take, singles events are one of the most underrated ways to meet single women. I'm not talking about cringy speed dating in a Hilton ballroom. It's 2025. The game has changed. One of my personal favorites is Pitch a Friend, where people give short, funny PowerPoint presentations pitching a single friend. I'm not affiliated with Pitch a Friend. This is unsponsored, but their events draw in hundreds of singles and their audience tends to skew heavily female and cute. So if you're single, look up Pitch a Friend and events like this in your city.
Nah, that's real talk. A lot of guys have basically given up on traditional meetups because they felt like they were doing all the work, right? But here's the thing, events like that actually flip the script. You're in a room where people showed up specifically to meet somebody, so there's less guessing games, less of the back and forth nonsense. That's actually smart.
If a woman approaches a man first, a lot of men will accept, not necessarily because they are interested in you, but because you stroked his ego by initiating things and you made yourself available right away for him, and maybe you were just something to do at that moment. Put it this way, if you give a dog a bone or a treat, they're almost always going to take it because it's right in front of them. Even if they're not hungry or if they're not interested right now, they're probably going to take it anyway. I believe a woman can open the door and can give a man an invitation to ask her out, but should a woman ask a man out? No, not in my opinion. I firmly believe the man should approach you, he should pursue you, and he should lead, especially in the early stages of dating. That's just what masculinity is, in my opinion. Letting the man do those things helps reveal his true level of interest in you.
Your kids are watching how you love your spouse more than you think. And what they see becomes normal to them. When kids see affection, they learn safety. When they see gentleness, they learn respect. When they see warmth, laughter, and touch between their parents, they learn what love is supposed to feel like. A hug in the kitchen, a kiss before work, holding hands when you guys are riding somewhere together. And if you know me, you know how I feel about this. Always greet your spouse when they come home and do it with your kids. Let them see you stop what you are doing. Smile, hug, and show that you are genuinely happy that they are home. Those moments quietly say, this home is secure. Love is safe. Connection matters. One day they will look for the kind of love they grew up watching. So let them see it. Not perfection, just real, healthy affection.
I'll never do my husband's laundry. Why? Because that's not my job. I'm not my husband's personal assistant. I'm his wife. Right, so why aren't you doing his laundry? Oh, it's not just his laundry. I don't cook dinner. I don't set up his doctor's appointments. And I'm not cleaning up his messes. He's a grown man. He can do it himself. Hang on, this doesn't sound like it has anything to do with your husband. It sounds like you just want to prove a point to people. What? The way you're saying this stuff. It's like you just take pride in not doing what most wives do. Yes, because I'm not going to be a part of this labor force. Again, do you hear yourself? This isn't about your husband and his capabilities. It's about you hanging on to your feminist image. Does your husband ever brag about the things he's not doing for you? Does he consider chivalry and serving you as a man to be labor? I mean, the reason you're so excited about not doing these traditional things is because you've been convinced by some feminist deity that it's your mission to reject them. If you loved your husband and wanted to serve him, you would. Instead, you consciously avoid serving him. That's not love. That's just worshiping ideology at someone's expense. Classic pick-me explanation. Classic feminist name calling.
So many women are competing for the same men, and then a bunch of guys are getting ignored. And then what ends up happening is, where do those guys go? And they go online. That's what you see. They go to porn. They go to porn, or they go to Reddit. I mean, I love Reddit, but they're really going to some of these red-pilled communities. And so what you're seeing now is just men really opting out of society. So when you go back to that stat, 1 in 7 young men in the UK is NEET, not an employment, education, or training. They have just opted out. And as Scott says, there's nothing scarier than a single man, a young single man. And so we are just creating a lot of these angry young single men who are saying, well, this is rigged against me. And so that's why I am worried about the rise of people like Andrew Tate. And if we wonder, where are the dads? Where are the men? Well, men are finding these father figures, but they're finding them online, and they're not the father figures that I would choose for the majority of men. And so I'm really worried about this, because I feel like women are saying, guys, you need to step up because I can provide and I don't need that from you. And guys are not prepared to rise to the occasion.
She's actually onto something real here. A lot of men checked out because the incentive structure stopped making sense, you know? Women wanted independence, and that's fine, but then still expected men to show up like nothing changed. So men looked at that equation and said, nah, and went somewhere else. That's cause and effect. When you remove a man's purpose in the dynamic, he's going to find one somewhere.
The working title right now is Feels Like Love Looks Like Math. Because it is all math. So the deserving equation, we don't want to take more than we think we deserve, because then I'll have an obligation. So no, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. I tease people about this, that, you know, birthday gifts are not a compensation for having lived another year. They're called a gift because you don't deserve them. All gifts, deserving's irrelevant. That's what makes it a gift. And that's why gift exchange.
Yeah.
That's what those instances of being related could be, as an upward spiral, but everyone's having to practice giving and receiving and giving and receiving, and deserving's irrelevant. And so, it's the beautiful thing about men and women in all contexts. There are things that are not only are they easy for me to give, I have to give them. I have to give them. To be fulfilled, I have to give them to you.
Yeah.
So if you won't receive them from me.
Yeah. It's almost robbing you of your own needs.
Nah, that's a solid breakdown right there. She's showing exactly how women are running these tests in real time. The side eye, the name games, the sudden interest when a man mentions a girlfriend. Men see that and they're done, you know? That's why guys are pulling back. It's exhausting when every interaction is a test instead of just being real with somebody.
Look, strong women intimidate weak men. That's known. Because if he was an alpha and he was in his masculine energy, pure masculine energy, not wounded energy, he would want a smart, hardworking woman on his side, because she will inspire him. She'll guide him. She'll give him advice. She'll give him constructive criticism. She will be there. She'll be his rock. And together they can build. I don't want a man to sit down and watch me build and clap for me. No, I want a man to build with. So when a man is intimidated by a strong woman, he's weak. It's because there's nothing to be intimidated about. Men and women don't compete with each other. They complete each other. So I do need a man that is in his alpha and masculine, because if he's not, then I will tap into my masculine energy to basically bring that masculine energy into the relationship, because he doesn't have it. So it's so important for a man to be healed in his alpha energy, in his healed energy, for him to be able to allow the woman safely to drop into her feminine and for her to be a little girl. And it's very important, because a lot of men complain, oh, females are very masculine nowadays. Men made us become like that. Life made us become like that. But if I'm with a healthy man, I'd be a baby. I'd be a girl. I don't want to be the boss lady at home. I don't want that. I want to be a girl. I want to be taken care of. I want to be with a man that tells me this is right, this is wrong, let's do this. How is your day?
I guess, need to respect him enough in order for him to have that kind of value.
Of course. One thing about men that is so funny to me is the fact that they act like they want to jump your bones, and then as soon as you reject them, they start acting like a to you. What is that phenomenon? So I went out to the club tonight with my friend, and I was wearing a super cute and sexy outfit because I wanted to take pictures in my cute and sexy outfit. And we're outside, we're taking some pictures, and there were multiple guys, by the way, who came up and as soon as I was like, oh no, I'm not interested, started acting like one guy in particular was like, oh, that red looks so good on you, because I'm wearing a red shirt. He was like, that red looks so good on you. And then he was trying to get in my picture. Why the First of all, I don't mind if somebody comes up and compliments me. No. I am bothered if you come up to me. If you walk past me and give me a drive-by compliment, that does not bother me. But if you come up to me and now you're getting in my shot, I'm here taking pictures. You see the camera woman right in front of me. Why the would you hop in my photo? I don't want your crusty, dusty, musty in my pictures. Now you're ruining the vibes of my photos. And he was like, oh, that red looks so good on you. And I was like, oh, thank you, but I'm not interested. I have a fiance. And I always flash my ring at people, and I'm like, I have a fiance, because it's always the threat of another man that is going to get them to walk away. But sometimes that isn't always the case. So he keeps on lingering, and I was like, okay, you can walk away now. You can walk away now. And after I said that, he immediately, of course, he's rejected. So now he's going to be the biggest in the world. He never wanted me. Now I'm just some fat, ugly. He never wanted me in the first place. What the And then he goes you should take that red off. It looks like on you. Why? And it's always the thing that they compliment you on. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Oh my God, men are so emotional. It's crazy.
Father taught you that you're his little princess, didn't he?
Too common.
Yes. He taught you you're perfect, didn't he? What? He really grew up, didn't he?
Yeah. Thank you, Dad.
Yes. He taught you to expect the man in your life to be the same as him. But see, there's only one problem. He didn't have to put up with your because you valued and admired him.
You're good, right? You're so good. 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 Wow. Yes.
And he didn't have sex with you, so there wasn't the piece of you feeling a sense of control over him. It wasn't something you could give or withhold from him. It would not affect his sense of love with you. So you had no power, so you worked to please him. It made you believe that love is something that should be expected and you could take it away because it was always there from him. You've taken it away from this man. I'm not defending anything this man has done. I don't know what he's done. I bet he's done some stupid things that he probably hates himself for. But so have you.
I love this, and even if a woman isn't exposed to this from her dad, she's exposed to it through society and the overall mindset that women can do no wrong, that he needs to do this or do that, and if he doesn't, he's a bad partner. It's never looked at what she has done in the relationship to contribute to that. And I feel like the content that we constantly see, encouraging women to just expect more, never settle, and never look at themselves in the mirror, is actually hurting a lot of women in addition to men. It's okay to be a flawed human being that's working on themselves, that's trying to improve. Trying to fix yourself is something that's constant throughout your life. But we shouldn't have one gender doing all of that and then the other thinking they're perfect. And that's where we're at right now, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And that's why dating is just not working. I love how that he brings up like the admiration and the respect. A lot of men don't get any of that.
I've been thinking about why all the men in my comments feel so outraged and so angry about some of the advice I'm giving, and I want to share a theory. They seem to be really upset that they're having to put in a lot of work and a lot of, perceived effort, and that they're not really getting anywhere with women. And I want to talk about why I think this is. So I'm a millennial. I'm 36, and I think our generation of women were really the ones raised by this whole idea that women need to lean in, the Sheryl Sandberg book and all of these ideas that women are just not trying hard enough in their careers to get what they want. So culturally, women are really being pushed to succeed and to make their own money and be more financially successful than ever before. But what's happening to the men? I think a lot of them become upset that no one's really there mentoring them or nurturing them in that way. And then they realize they've got a society full of women who really don't need them financially and are looking for emotionally supportive, equal partners. But who's trained the men to become those equal partners? While society is certainly changing, it's still tough for a lot of men to reach out for therapy or for mentorship or to get emotional support and nurturing, even today. And I think all of this anger that I'm getting from people in my comments is that they realize that they just haven't received the resources to be able to keep up and catch up with the women that they're trying to attract. And this is one of the reasons that I'm a men's dating coach. A lot of men want to be the modern, equitable partners for the women of their dreams, women who don't need them, but really want them.
Look, she's actually onto something real here. The issue is a lot of men got told to just figure it out on their own, while women got entire frameworks to lean into. So now you've got guys who are exhausted, didn't get mentored, and are expected to already be evolved partners. That's not anger. That's just realizing the game changed halfway through and nobody gave them the playbook.
If you're a single guy in Newport Beach, why are you not hanging out at the Nobu Bar? Because it's literally all gorgeous women and there's not one man. It's literally the bar seats are full of women. Well, where's all the guys?
Listen, I don't know why this video is all of a sudden taking off, but it's taking off. Okay, the girlies are resonating. Okay. And I've been seeing a lot of this. Tell us more. Tell us how you came to this conclusion. This is from the post where I said that we're not supposed to be marrying men. Okay. We're supposed to just be enjoying their company and allowing them to be checkpoints in our journey. And this is more for the spiritual girlies. Okay. If you're religious, you're not going to resonate with this. You're not going to resonate with this. You're more than likely male-centered. You're more than likely caught up in the patriarchy. You're more than likely still programmed and conditioned, like I was, Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. I was there too. I was brought up that way in childhood, but you're more than likely still caught up in the fairy tale of love. All right, we understand deeper. We're waking up. We're remembering. This isn't new information. We're remembering, okay? We're waking up to the truths, right? We are waking up to the fact that we are the blueprint, okay? We understand that we are the original design. We understand that at some point in history, men bogarted and destiny swapped. Okay. Everything that men try to do in the patriarchy is literally what we are by design. I was under the tutelage of a spiritual girly, of a very spiritual woman a while back. Okay. And she explained it as the women being the big mirror, the men being the little mirror. Okay. We innately have in us that men could never understand, that they can try to copy, but they can never successfully do it, which is why the state of the world looks the way it does now. So as we're navigating through this realm, as we're navigating through life, we are supposed to be dancing with that masculine energy. Okay, just dancing. Okay, we're supposed to be enjoying the human experience of men, right? But we predominantly have the feminine, right? Men represent the masculine. We're supposed to be dancing with that energy. Right? Sensuality. We're supposed to be dancing with that energy, enjoying the company, right? Never to be tied down to it, never to be under it, never to be oppressed by it. Okay? The feminine is feral as all right? So no, you're not supposed to be tied to a man. You're not supposed to be under a man. You're not supposed to be letting him lead you. Baby, you're the leader. He's supposed to be the intelligent muscle. So if you choose to have the human experience of marriage, okay, as society calls it, you're not supposed to be being led for what, baby? You're the design. You're the originator. You're the creator. Why the would a creator follow its creation?
Men don't want to chase you. They don't want to play chase at all. They want to play tag. They want someone who's going to get them back. They want someone who's going to make them faster, stronger, more strategic, someone who's going to challenge them. Like, imagine being a kid at a playground and another kid comes up to you and asks if you want to play, and you're like, what do you want to play? And they're like, chase. And you're like, cool, how's that go? I chase you, and then what? And then they're like, and then you just keep chasing me forever. What the is that? That's the most boring game ever. If you want to chase, chase back.
That's exactly right. Men got tired of being the only one moving in the relationship. You chase, she doesn't chase back. So what's the point? That's not a relationship. That's a one-man show. Real connection is both people actually invested, both people meeting halfway. When a man realizes it's only him putting in the work, he's already mentally checked out. That's just logic.
Okay, let's talk. A lot of women want a masculine man, but then you all show up in the relationship acting like his competition, not his counterpart. You say you want a leadership, presence, effort, protection, but your energy blocks every single thing you say you want. So let me break this down real quick, because if you can't embody these 5 traits, you're not calling in masculine energy, you're repelling it. Number 1, receptivity. Girl, let him show up. Some of you want a man to lead, but you argue with him every time he tries. You want him to plan, but you reject every suggestion. A man doesn't rise where he's micromanaged. He rises where he's received. Second, emotional softness. Listen, hyper-independence looks glamorous on Instagram, but in real life, men don't fall for hardness. They fall for warmth. Softness isn't about crying in the corner. It's the vibe, the way you talk to him, the way you look at him, the way you open up without making him feel like he's walking into a fire zone. Softness doesn't make you weak. It makes you magnetic. Third, appreciation. Here's a secret men don't tell you. They notice everything you appreciate and everything you don't. You don't have to throw a parade. Just acknowledge the effort. Men are simple. What gets appreciated gets repeated. What gets criticized gets deleted. If you want consistency, you better recognize effort, because no man keeps pouring into a woman who acts like it's bare minimum. Number 4, emotional accountability. And this one separates grown women from emotional toddlers. Your triggers, your wounds, your past hurt, that's your homework. A man cannot fix pain he didn't cause. And when you throw emotional chaos at him every time you're overwhelmed, you're being irresponsible. Accountability sounds like, I'm upset, but I know this isn't all on you. This is my trigger, not your disrespect. Men don't run away from emotions. They run away from blame. Number 5, respect. The one thing that turns a man from I'm here for a good time to I'm here for the long term. Respect doesn't mean yes, sir. Respect his tone. Respect is not talking to him sideways. Respect is not emasculating him because you're annoyed. Respect is not comparing him to other men, like a TikTok trend. By the way, stop doing that. If you can't speak to him with respect when you're mad, he'll never trust you with his heart when he's soft. Respect is the entry point to his masculinity. Not beauty, not vibes, respect. Feminine energy isn't about dresses, makeup, or being girly. It's about your emotional posture. Your softness invites his strength. Your receptivity invites his leadership. Your appreciation invites his consistency. Your accountability invites his vulnerability. Your respect invites his commitment. And if you're not getting masculinity from him, check the energy you're giving.
So the other day I'm talking to my brother and he's like, I'm broke this month. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, how? You don't buy skincare, you don't buy makeup, you don't buy outfits, you literally wear the same hoodie every day like it's a uniform. Meanwhile, I'm out here budgeting for serums, foundation, lashes, hair appointments, a cute outfit for every event, and somehow I'm the one who's supposed to be broke or not be broke. It honestly made me so curious that I was like, I genuinely want to see a man's per diem for 1 week, just like a little sneak peek, because clearly they're spending money on something. I just can't figure out what.
I was in the smoking area last night and my friend goes to me, I feel like creepy because I like the look of someone. Like, he didn't even try to talk to her. He just felt like a creep for even wanting to. And I think this big age of like anti-men, but not all men, and this like, it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend vogue. The men can see it, you know. Like, as someone that sometimes dates men, I do not want it to get to a point where men are afraid, the good ones, my friend's a good one, men are afraid to even speak to you. Like, can't we just make an agreement as femmes, as women? Like, sometimes men will talk to us because what else do we expect? Like, because if you stop all of them, like stopping the bad ones, true, yeah, great, good, but you're also stopping the good ones, and then where do we go? Do we have to talk to them? Because I'm not doing that. I'm not chasing a man. Yeah, come to me. I'll make the decision. Like, you can just brush off the like slightly uncomfortable ones, and obviously there's like levels to it. But like now I'm hearing people are even scared to even breathe in her direction. And I know there's some ladies in the back going like, yes, as he should be. But like, come on, like, what do we expect? What like, we need to find some middle ground here because it's getting impossible out here. And like, where do we go from here? What do we expect them to do? Hello, can we have a meeting, please? Like,
nah, she's right. A lot of men have just mentally checked out from even trying because the feedback is so mixed and so hostile that it's not worth the risk. They see how quick a normal interaction gets labeled as creepy, so they stop approaching altogether. And then women wonder why nobody's talking to them. That's the consequence of making it impossible to have middle ground.
There's just something about men sleeping in that I can't stand. Like, I get it, I'm the problem, whatever. But like, as a man, why are you still asleep? You should be outside mowing the lawn. And you know what? I want to blame my dad because, dude, if my dad worked at 8 a.m., he would wake up at 4 in the morning. He had this whole routine. He would pray, read the Bible, take a shower, take forever doing his hair, whatever. And my dad always wakes up early and he's always getting into something, right? Doing the randomest things like fixing the garage or freaking, he'll find something. So I just cannot, I don't know. Wake up. Why are you all dainty still laying in bed? Why are you still sleeping? Get up. Go clock in. Okay, go build a house.
Maybe it's because that man is tired from working a full-time job plus overtime. This day and age, both men and women are tired. They both have a lot on their plates. So to have this backwards line of thought where he can't even sleep in one day or dare not even take a nap. Well, if it's the other way around, if it's you sleeping in or you taking a nap, well, it's because you're tired and you're working hard and you have a ton on your plate. Him, on the other hand, he's just being lazy. Sounds like a double standard, which apparently you recognize on some sort of level because you say, I know, I am the problem. But to breeze over that so quickly and then tell a man what he should be doing instead of sleeping in, I don't think it's registering. And a lot of men, too many men experience this time and time again in their relationships. They feel like they cannot rest. They have to be constantly doing something. Then you ladies are surprised that after that relationship crumbles and they end up like in a divorce, those men don't want to be in a relationship again. They just want their single peacefulness.
You've been divorced 18 months. How long you been engaged?
A week.
What? Where did he propose?
He proposed at
Think of it now.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
He proposed at a restaurant.
Uh-huh. What restaurant?
It was Papado's.
Papado. What city?
Dallas, Texas.
Which location?
In Highland Park.
Oak Lawn. What day?
Last Saturday.
Where are you guys sitting?
Like specific location in the restaurant?
Yep.
Towards the middle, like central.
Uh-huh. And how did he propose to you?
He just asked me and I said yes.
He just asked you in the middle of a restaurant on a Saturday?
Yes.
Tell us the story of this engagement at Papado Oakland, a location I know very well. Tell me how he proposed, if he proposed to you in the middle of the restaurant. What'd you eat?
So, I mean, I was having a nice meal.
Did you have what? What'd you eat?
I mean, I don't know what you're trying to get at.
Ma'am, you have a great story to tell. I just want the details. What'd you eat? Why are you being so evasive about seafood?
This don't kill my vibe. This don't kill my vibe.
You got the right one today. I know Papado Oakland very well. I used to live in Dallas. I know how the restaurant's laid up. I work for the Pappas Corporation. I know how this works. See, when a man proposes to a woman at a restaurant, he typically lets the general manager or the manager on duty know that he's going to propose, so the restaurant can help him coordinate this. They tend to bring out a special dessert if they have the ring, if not. See, this chick just tried to make it seem like, yeah, we went to Papado and then over the course of a meal, I went to the bathroom, he came back and proposed. You are lying bash.